As we process the transformation that the past 2 years have forced upon us, we are reminded time and time again that the only constant that can be alongside us is change. And the best of businesses in this world have embraced this paradigm, keeping it close to their hearts as they reinvent themselves again and again to adapt themselves to a new world. One, in this case, which has no precedent. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Ashwin Raghunath, and I'm thrilled to welcome you all to Transform to Next, brought to you by Wurth IT in association with Greyhead Media. Now, through this afternoon, we are bringing you thought leaders and showcasing ideas that can help your enterprise embrace the change and transform to the next. Now, this is going to be an afternoon which will not only sketch out the potential, but also detail out the avenues for you to reach these goals. And through the day, we have the Wurth IT team looking forward to help you as you look to embrace these ideas for your transformation to the next. And we are keeping the conversation buzzing on social media. Now you can use the hashtag #TransformToNext, and well, there are great prizes on the hour. Now to set the event rolling, I'd like to welcome Abhishek Bhate, the Managing Director and CEO of Wurth IT, who will detail out the Wurth IT India view of using the digital pivot for enterprise transformation to the next. Over to you, Abhishek. Take it away.
Thank you, Ashwin. Very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited to be here in front of you and hosting this wonderful exchange of ideas and experiences. We have with us today an array of distinguished professionals from varied industry segments, and I'm very sure you will feel enlightened and empowered in the next couple of hours. Today's summit is called Transform to Next. And by this, what we want to do is we want to define what really matters to the agile organizations that are trying to become the enterprise next of tomorrow, and how they are breaking away from the pack and leading into this new digital world. We at Wurth IT will try to help you understand how you as leaders should focus on being future ready and manage critical factors like demanding levels of customer experience, evolving operational excellence, and collaborating technical partnerships. So let's get into it directly. We've all seen that during this pandemic, consumers have moved dramatically towards online channels, and companies and industries have responded in turn. Perhaps most surprising is the speed up in creating digital or digitally enhanced offerings by the industry. What you see out here is the rapid pace of the average share of customer interactions that are being digital. And in the last 3 years, we've seen that almost double and more, which talks about that the world is adopting digital solutions at a very rapid pace, and the spend on digital transformation solutions is doubling, right? Opportunities are there for everybody to grab, and the organization that changes quickly, that adapts rapidly, and is fast in its responses will be the one that will grab market share. Now, digital transformation is a very disconcerting topic for a lot of executives because it means so many things to so many different people. Is it only technology-led initiatives? For business leaders, part of the challenge lies in the fact that the 10 to 15 major enabling technologies, are very different from one another. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, each has different applications and impacts across different sectors of the economy. That adds complexity and fuels to some part of frustration at the top of the companies. It also creates real risks of many false starts and half measures chasing after disruption as we see it, especially because there's no comprehensive playbook of how to build a digital enterprise. We all know that by 2023, 75% of the organizations will have most of their processes and initiatives going digital, right? We also know that the mindset towards technology is changing a lot. What was just a cost-saving measure and a primary source of saving is no longer that. Today, everybody's looking at IT as a measure to be competitive. They're investing in it so that they gain the competitive advantage, and they're trying to refocus the entire business around digital technologies. So how do we all get around to doing this? The buzzwords are all there. How do we make more sense out of this? Let me take a very real example that is in front of us, and that's been on my mind for a very long time. Let's talk about this business model redefinition. We all know this fantastic company that has come up in the past couple of years called Fresh to Home. Now, what have they done really? They have transformed the business model of selling meat. So if today the entire paradigm was just selling meat to individuals, right? And the one who gets to the shop in the morning gets the freshest meat possible, they have changed the entire story around. The story is not about selling meat anymore. The story is about quality and availability at the time in the day when you want it, as per requirement, right? And how have they done it? They've reimagined the business at all. It's not about meat at all, it's about quality and availability. What they've done is they've built solutions for the vendors, for the customers, seamlessly integrated. The procurement cycles are AI led. So the vendors, they themselves don't need to get to a point where the local dealers are having the stronghold. They actually just sell it from their own household, their own picking points, their own fishing points. You know, they use the AI solutions. They look at the photographs, they upload the photographs of the fresh meat, and the AI solution determines whether the quality is good enough for the company to procure. Can you imagine this 5 years back? How wonderful changes are coming in. Uh, it is overwhelming to see how AI and cognitive technologies are being implemented in everyday solutions. It's mind-boggling, right? Now, how do we transform digitally? Frankly speaking, how do we do this? Is there a playbook? I guess it can be actually talked about in 5 different steps or 6 different steps, right? We call them digital pivots these days. Transformation is more than about implementing discrete technologies. Rather, it requires developing these broad array of technology related assets and business capabilities, which we call digital pivots, by the way, that help propel the organization along the journey. So, on the top of my mind, you have to get your infrastructure scalable. It has to be available. It has to be cloud led, right? It cannot be the on-prem solution at all these days. You have to have control of your data. Data, like they say, the data-driven approach has to be across the business and across the ecosystem. Data insights have to be at every touch point within the process for the people who drive the process to know what needs to be done, how to tweak the process to get the best out of the process. Redefining business models, as we looked at the earlier slide, you need to relook of what you're trying to do. Maybe there's a easier way of defining it. Maybe there's a better way of doing the entire process, right? Building operational intelligence in all the processes, building analytical solutions, talking about what can be and what should be from the data that is available to you. And obviously, most importantly of all, having seamless customer experience. Unified customer experience is the story for the new age transformation next company. Touch points for the customer, be it all the channels that you have for him, have to be common, have to be seamless, have to be futuristic looking, and have to have the built-in UI that is meant for the future. When we have control of these digital pivots, I think organizations are set for their transformation journey. Now, as Wurth IT, how do we enable our partners to do this? What is our way of doing this? Very simply, in real 4 steps, right? Build the digital DNA in an organization. Look at it as the thing to do from the top to the bottom. Everybody all across the floor, the entire organization needs to start thinking digitally. You need to have that strategy built around digital, right? It's not about the technology, it's about the mindset. Maybe look at the business models too. Change them as needed, change them for the future. Look at the enablers, the way we said, the pivots that are needed to go. Write them down, figure them out one by one, and then deploy them across the process chain, across the organizations. And obviously, orchestration, how to do this. That is where companies like us come in and help you and do this in a proper way, in a way which actually does not only leads to proof of concepts, it leads to real transformation. So we don't want to uh, run a lot of proof of concept and idea generations, while we want you to move from that step to the real transformation that comes right after that. So with this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave you for the next couple of sessions where I'm sure a lot of very, very smart people will tell you how they think about this and how they are handling the headwinds in their industry. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you enjoy the upcoming sessions. Thank you very much. Take care.